Hello and welcome everyone. You're joining us live. Let's begin. So, it's basically a roundup of what AI workflow automation and agent building is. And if you've not subscribed, for you to be able to maybe leave a comment so that maybe you can talk about the comments that you leave there, you need to first of all subscribe. And once you subscribe, you'll be able to drop in a comment and we'll be able to tackle some of the comments and concerns that you have. So without wasting much time, this is more of a question and answer session. Thank you so much. As you join in, subscribe and drop in your comments so that we can discuss. And areas that maybe you need me to shed light on, so the areas that we're also going to discuss, so that we can be on the same page and you should be able to begin a journey of building your own agents, automating your workflows, improving your productivity, and boosting your productivity. So let me share my screen so that I can talk about a very simple workflow so that we can be on the same page. And we are going to build a new workflow so that you can understand basics about So for those joining us right now, n8n is a platform that we use to automate our workflows, but there are other platforms that work in the same manner as n8n. We have what we call Make. For those who don't know Make, that's make.com. This is what I'm talking about. We have Zapier. Zapier also, this is another platform that works the same manner as n8n. We have another one called Relevance. Also another platform that offers the same. It's a platform that offers you that gives you the ability to automate your workflows. So since our tool of choice is n8n, if you want to learn more about n8n, you normally come to the documentation, and that's where you find all the information. Let's look at the documentation. So this guy looks at these guys change their outlook. But if you just search n8n, for instance, and you come here, this is how the platform looks like. And getting started, if you click getting started, of course, since we are logged in, it tells to this, but ideally you're supposed to maybe get some documentation. a minute. So if you browse, you need to learn more so when it comes to documentation. Yeah, this is the part I was looking for. So you realize that this is the knowledge base that you should spend time trying to learn n8n. For n8n, we have a cloud version like the one I'm using currently, and we also have the self-hosted, whereby you can maybe purchase your hosting through Hostinger. And the beauty about self-hosting is that you can do a lot of things with it, and you are not limited in terms of the tokens that you can access compared to the version. So if you follow this part, if you click on get started, you read the documentation of what you're supposed to do. There's a path that you can take. I encourage you to go through it, you read it. And the beauty about this system is that it has its own AI within the documentation, whereby you can chat. You can chat the AI. You can ask it, for example, how to get started in n8n. And as you can see, it's thinking, and then it should be able to give you feedback. So this is the feedback that you're getting by chatting with the docs. And you just follow it to get started with n8n. Follow these steps. You choose how to run n8n. Do you want it on cloud? Do you want it on servers? And then you need to explore the UI, that is all the functionalities of the n8n interface. There are tutorials that are provided. Quick start, you can follow tutorials. So you can now go through the beginner's level. You would chat with the docs, it's the easiest. And then we have here video courses. This is a beginner module, co-work, debugging, and collaborations. For example, if you click on one on this video, production, there'll be an event. As you can see, I encourage you to go through the first video, second, third, before you can even just watch it before attempting anything, so that you can have a gist of what to expect when it comes to building the workflows. So you can, after you're done with the beginner, you would go to the advanced. You also do the introduction and complex data flows, advanced technical nodes, pinning and editing output data, sub workflows, error workflows, building a full example, handling files and enterprises. So let's come back to live. And if you're joining us for now, I encourage you to stick around. And as we cascade through n8n workflow. So what we are going to do today, we are going to n8n platform, where we are going to build a very simple workflow that will enable you to understand how agents and rather workflow. So once you've registered, for example, for this version, the first step you need to do is to click on create workflow. So we are going to prepare our first workflow. Every workflow requires a trigger. And for this case, for you to initiate your first workflow, you click on this add first step. And these are a series of various triggers. You can trigger manually. You can trigger on app event. You can trigger on schedule. You can trigger on webhook call, on form submission, when executed by another workflow, on chat message, when running evaluation, and various others. So I would want us to pick one trigger, and in the next video, in the next live session, when we are building another workflow, we'll pick on another trigger. For this case, I want us to pick on the chat trigger. And once you initiate the chat trigger, you just click on the test chat. So once, this is what you call a trigger. And whenever you execute your workflow, this is the node that will now trigger the actions of others. So the simplest workflow that you can create in n8n is linking a chat trigger to an AI model. So we are linking it to an AI agent. And as you can see, it's saying prompt user. And I would explain that to you, because you realize getting from the chats is a chat input. If you execute, for example, the previous node, just a minute. First of all, there's something I want to show you. Once you open the AI agent, you realize that there are some things that you need to provide. For example, you have what you call a chat model, memory, and that when you go back here, you realize you need to provide. You see, this is very important. As you can see, there's an asterisk that's marked here. You may not provide a tool, you may not provide a memory, but for this workflow to execute, you look at the asterisk, it's important. So when you click on this plus sign, it gives you a various forms of large language models that you can connect. For this case, I would want us to go, you can go with OpenAI, but I would want us to go with Google Gemini. Of course, you need to set your credential. For mine, I've set this called LessNet, but if you click here, it will tell you create new credential. Head to Google API Studio, I think. Google Studio, if I'm not wrong. You look for the API keys. So you create a new key. You give it a name that you want to name. And then it will generate for you the key. You'll have to copy it, and then you go back to your workflow, and then you paste it here. So I cannot do that because I already have mine, which is NestNet. So you realize that now we are in the chat. And when you open this AI agent also, there are two things that I want you to consider. We have what you call prompt, which is a user message. And on options here, we have what you call a system message. If you click, you realize that it's been defaulted to you are an helpful assistant. If you've had something called prompt engineering, or rather prompting, this is a simple system message prompt, but you can complex prompt here that follows a specific prompting structure that we'll discuss in another video. Tell that you are an helpful assistant. I want you to write an email to every customer, but before you do that, thank them for just joining, and so forth and so forth. But for this case, it's just a very simple, you are an helpful assistant. So once you have this, you can execute previous node. Sure that you realize that nothing comes in because we need to trigger it as a chat message. And then send it. As you can see, it hits the first, this is a trigger node, and then it goes through the AI agent, and then it comes to the brain, which is the Gemini. So that's the output. So the chat input for this case, if you double click this, you'll realize that chat input, JSON.chat input. So chat input is a low. So what is the output? The output is what we get from a very emotional independence story. Limit to 100 words. And there you have it. It says, the chains had long scarred our spirits, not just our wrists. Generations whispered of a sun that shone for us, not just our overlords. My mother's eyes, hallowed by toil, held the embers of that dream. We fought, not with weapons, but with unified breath, silence, with bodies broken but spirits unbowed. Then the dawn, a single trampling flag raised, no grand army, just us, bathed in the morning light, tears streaming. It wasn't just, and so forth and so forth. So you realize that it gives you the story as you had requested. So this is the most simplest form of agent, the hello world in the programming era. So if you are able to connect a chat trigger to an AI agent with its brain, then you are in the right directions towards building very complex and agentic system. So with that said and done, thank you so much for those people who joined, and I really appreciate. Thank you.